It looks like the trade war between the US and China might be heading for a major twist. President Donald Trump has hinted at potentially slashing tariffs on Chinese goods, right before crucial talks between the two economic giants. In a post on his Truth Social platform, Trump suggested that the US could almost halve its tariffs on Chinese imports, which currently sit at a staggering 145%. But he also demanded that China opens its markets to American products. Trump wrote, "80% tariff on China seems right." Up to Scott B, a clear reference to the upcoming Geneva meeting led by US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Bessent, alongside Trade Representative Jamieson Greer, is set to meet with China's Vice Premier, Lifeng, as both sides look for ways to de-escalate their tit-for-tat tariff war. Despite the heavy tariffs, China's export machine hasn't slowed down. Data from Friday showed that China's overall exports surged 8.1% in April, a massive jump that strengthens Beijing's position heading into the talks. But before markets could react, the White House stepped in to clarify. Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt stated that Trump still stands firm on his tariff position. "We need to see concessions from him as well." As for the 80% number, that was a number the president threw out there, and we'll see what happens this weekend. Trump's Liberation Day tariffs back in April sent shockwaves through global markets, but since his pause on some of those levies, markets had rebounded. However, the momentum has fizzled, and the S&P 500 is back in the red, down 0.5% this week alone. Financial experts are skeptical. Libby Cantrell of PIMCO warned, while some softening of tariffs over the next few weeks is possible, the chances of a durable, substantive deal coming out of these weekend talks is very low. Cantrell pointed out that trade deals typically take 18 months to negotiate and another 2 years to implement. Given the rocky history between the US and China, she added, "We might see some positive reaction from the equity market, but any deal would be in name only." Trump's comments come just a day after he finalized a tariff relief deal with the UK, his first since launching the trade war. But insiders say his Truth Social post may be more of a negotiating tactic than a real commitment. China's Commerce Ministry announced this week that it decided to engage with the US after thorough consideration of global expectations, China's own interests, and calls from US businesses. Interestingly, Beijing has softened its stance. Initially, it demanded US tariff cuts as a precondition for talks, but it seems the door is now open for negotiation. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has called the upcoming Geneva meeting an attempt to de-escalate the trade war. He even labeled the current tariffs as not sustainable for both economies. The Federal Reserve has also weighed in, warning that Trump's tariffs have spiked uncertainty and could potentially lead to higher inflation and increased unemployment. But Trump remains optimistic. He wrote online that there are, quote, "many trade deals in the hopper, all good, great ones." Will this weekend mark the beginning of the end for the US-China trade war? Or is this just another twist in a never-ending negotiation? One thing's for sure, the world will be watching. Subscribe for the latest updates on global markets and political shifts. Stay informed. Stay ahead.